Akbar al Baker, chosen as the new head of International Airlines Trade Group, shocked people by suggesting that an airline CEO's job is too tough for a woman. A day later, he apologized. Akbar al Baker is known for outspoken comments on performance of his competitors. AP promises by the global airline industry to do more to promote gender equality veered off course on Tuesday when one of its top executives suggested his CEO role was too difficult for a woman. The issue of gender imbalance in aviation was a hot topic among over 200 airlines represented at the annual meeting of the International Air Transport Association (IATA) in Sydney, with the predominantly male gathering agreeing more had to be done. Asked about the issue among Middle East airlines in particular, and why his job as head of his country's flag carrier couldn't be done by a woman, outspoken Qatar Airways chief executive Akbar al Baker gave a typically provocative answer. "Of course it has to be led by a man because it is a very challenging position," he said, drawing gasps from those present. The audible gasp from the crowd is at Qatar Airways CEO and at IATA chairman Akbar al Baker. Jokes, "Only a man can be a CEO" is amazing. Listen for yourself. At Qantas CEO Alan Joyce, cutting him off was both good and bad, I suppose. "It was just a joke. I apologize for it," he told the Kappa Center for Aviation Airlines conference in Sydney. Al Baker said Qatar Airways was the first carrier in the region to have female pilots and the company had women in senior roles, so we actually encourage women. We see that they have huge potential in doing senior management positions, he said. Al Baker was anointed chairman of the global industry body during the two-day annual meeting in Sydney. His comments sparked a debate on social media. At IATA AGM, at Qatar Airways Group CEO Akbar al Baker responds to question on diversity and female representation in airline industry. "Of course at Qatar Airways has to be led by a man, because it's a very challenging position." Joke or not, resounding boos from the room. You might want to look up who's doing the work of CEO at both those companies. At Mount Nabara at indranewsyipic.twitter.com/4pqop4low82, Roop Raj at Roopraj Fox 2, June 5, 2018. Diversity pays Gloria Guevara Manzo, the first female president of the World Travel and Tourism Council, said investors needed to start pushing companies to do more. "It's not just for the sake of it." Willie Walsh, CEO of British Airways and Aer Lingus owner IAG, said the industry needed to attract more women and that progress had been slow. Aer Lingus recruited its first female pilot in 1977. "It's taken 40 years to get to 10%, he said at the Kappa Center for Aviation Summit also taking place in Sydney. IATA currently has just 2 female CEOs on its 31-member board. Christine Armiers Whittier of British budget airline Flybe Air Europe as Maria Jose Hidalgo Gutierrez, who was added Tuesday. IATA's chief executive Alexander de Juniac acknowledged that having more women in senior positions was a long-standing issue that required further efforts from airlines and the industry body. It released figures in March showing just 3% of CEOs in the industry were female, compared with 12% in other sectors. Leading carriers in North America and Europe had the highest representation of women in senior roles at 16% and 14% respectively, IATA said. African, Asia-Pacific and South American airlines were at about 8%, with the Middle East having the worst at 4%, the data showed. Source: Turt World and Agencies.